All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to TMTL. We are Terra Mystica Thursday League now, and I'm opening up the game. This is game one of the Premier League for this season, and I'm joined today by the reigning champ of Premier League, if I'm not mistaken, MattTheLesser. What's going on, Matt?
Hey, hey, happy to be here. I guess maybe being the defending champion got me the benefit of having the bye in week one, so I get to watch all my opponents before I have to start playing myself. But it's always fun to commentate the one game in the league that I'm not playing in. So really happy that this scheduling adjustment actually made me available when I wouldn't have been otherwise. So this is great.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're getting the advanced scouting report here. Do you feel like
For
you have a
sure.
sense of these guys' play styles at all, or like preferences, or anything have you played with? I guess you've probably played with some of
Um,
them a bit before.
I've definitely played against all of them. I've played a lot recently against Rondo. He and I both live in Oregon and seem to have similar availability times. So I've played a lot of games against him recently. I have not played as many games against the rest of these folks. Um, Played a game or two against Ondas at Terra Mystica last year. But definitely some newer faces in the Premier League this year, which is really fun.
Yeah, a couple first timers. But I mean, super strong field though. I was looking at the whatever's the peak elo people use to register, and like combined, y'all are like well above 600. It's like pretty crazy. It's I love seeing
Yeah, I
games
mean, and
like
that's
this. It's
and that's
always fun.
been with sort of the Elo depression that's been going on due to the BGA change. I feel like it used to be everyone was in the high 600s, and now it's like a mix of like high 500s and low 600s. But I don't think that's like that people got worse. I think they just changed the algorithm.
Oh, the like
But it's
consecutive
probably
getting dinged for the
not
consecutive
super.
victory stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah,
think people sort of realized this right when they implemented that over time it was going to depress elos, and I think we're starting to see that a little bit, but
for sure.
um,
Yep, they don't
doesn't
make them
really
like they used to.
mean it doesn't mean anyone's gotten any worse. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, well, let's take a look at the setup. We've got faction selection already. It looks like we are rolling with fan factions, and which means landscapes are off. I don't see any final scoring. This is Ondus's home game. So, yeah, so maybe if you can take a look at the setup, I'll just give a little bit of context for TMTL for anyone who hasn't watched before. Um, so this is Terra Mystica Tuesday League. We are in season, I think, 9 of Terra Mystica Tuesday League. So it's been going on a couple times a year, at least once, maybe 2, 3 times a year for a couple of years now. And this season is Terra Mystica Thursday League. Um, so it's live play and it's async, but what we're looking at right now is the highest ranked live play league. This is game one kicking off the whole season. So the format is we've got 5 players all seated together in the league based on either their board game arena elo or like their recent last couple months of elo, or yeah, in your case, Matt, although you might have made it anyways, I think promotions apply too. So if you've played in the league in the past and you've done well enough to win this top league, the Premier League, or win one of the other 2 leagues right below it, then you get promoted to Premier League. But I think you're the only one who that would be relevant to this time around. So anyways, it's a good format. So what it means is that
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure who won the leagues last year, but I know the automatic qualifying spots are the previous year's champion, and then the previous or season, not year, previous season champion, and then of the Premier League, and then also of the, as you said, the American Division One and European Division One, and then I think
right.
usually the last two slots are the Elo. At one point, there was the turn-based champion had a slot as well, but I don't
Oh yeah, right.
know if that happened this year or maybe he. I think Barnwell is the defending turn-based league champion, so I don't know if he
So it might have
didn't get a
applied.
spot or
Okay,
maybe didn't want a spot. Sometimes people can't make the Premier League time work, and so they don't register. But
for sure.
you know,
Yeah,
either
I
way,
think
we have
attendance is
a
a
very
little
strong.
lighter this season, anyways, with the Thursday slot. I think it's allowed some folks to play that can't usually play,
Yeah,
but
Thursday and it's summer. I mean, so I feel like
yeah,
just for those of us in the northern hemisphere, I feel like
yeah, for
most
sure.
most of the summer seasons have been a little lighter participation wise.
Yeah, for sure. But what it means with the 5 different players
Really
is that every week
interesting.
someone's got a
But
bye. So Matt is on bye this week. And these are his four competitors. So yeah, what do you see in the setup here?
Yeah, so I mean, I think that first of all, just to look at the we talk about the factions already, right? So we have three fan factions: Atlanteans, Prospectors, and Genie, and then alongside Orin on base map, we have two pairs of color neighbors, brown and yellow, and blue and green. Um, and Most interestingly, in the bonus tiles I was looking at down here, we don't have the spade tile, um,
Yep. Yeah, it
which
looks like.
obviously, helps factions that have better alternate ways of digging, which in this case is true for both Atlanteans and prospectors. Prospectors dig with coins, and Atlanteans have discounted dig upgrades. So, um, Genie and Orin, I think, are going to have maybe a little bit of a harder time finding the requisite spades. The other thing that's interesting is if you look at the track, the scoring round tiles, we have no dwelling scorings,
Mm,
which
yeah,
often
yeah.
leads to at least one faction, sometimes multiple, playing a bit of a taller game, as the benefits from building out wide are, a little reduced relative to how they normally are. So
Right, right. Makes
should be
sense.
interesting from that perspective. I'm not at all surprised, by the way, that in first seat Ondas put Atlanteans. He's probably the biggest Atlanteans supporter out there that I know of. Thinks they are criminally and chronically underrated, and it wouldn't shock me at all to see him end up on them here, especially now as they are going to be the 40 faction. So, but
Oh, but
no,
no, I guess not.
with it. Ondas couldn't get on. I bet Ondas is upset about this in my opinion. But
We'll see if he has anything to say in the chat. So yeah, okay. So it looks like Atlanteans to the 40. Genie got down to 33, but then Prospectors and Orin both 37, 38. So not it's pretty close. Looking at the bonus tiles, you mentioned the spade is missing, which is consequential in general, and also in the first round, it's pretty desirable. Also, we are missing the cult coins and oh god, and then the TP scoring. So
yeah,
with a taller game, it is a little bit rough having the TP scoring missing, like you were talking about. If some folks play a taller game, but it still looks pretty doable here, depending. Okay, so they're
yeah,
going pretty
and
quick here, so I'm gonna put it
they
back to you.
are. The
See,
TP
talk us
scoring, I
through
would argue, most hurts prospectors in this setup because they're the ones who like to have TPs sitting up because coins are just so important for them, and they
for
have
sure.
better coin production on their early TPs.
Yeah, I love that as a faction design as part of this like new group of factions. That they're a faction that doesn't that like tempo isn't necessarily better and is often not as good as a multiple TP opening. I think that that's really nice. And we see Atlanteans go
And the
immediately for
first
the
big
two key town
decision,
here.
yeah, I was just gonna say that's often the first big decision of the game when you're playing Atlanteans is what town do you take, and they start with, it looks like they have no power, but they have only that stronghold which produces six, so ultimately they are starting effectively a 5-7 faction. But if you take the two key town, given they start with the one step on both fire and water, and then if they take any of the three power tiles on top of it, they have enough then to take double dig with their first action. So given all three power tiles are in the game, I'm sure they're planning on doing just that, and that works out quite well actually with the D2 start and the two key town, because then the other one that Atlanteans often consider is the ship town, because depending on where they start, they may want to have more access. But this is going to work out pretty well for them.
Yeah, that makes sense. And with the three different power tiles in the game, they're guaranteed. They're all but guaranteed to get it. And given that Genie started on the priest, it looks like they're going to get it. Gotta assume that that priest is just going to Earth straight away for Genie here. It seems like a
Certainly, yeah.
no-brainer. And then prospectors go for the workers here. And who do you? I mean, have you taken enough of a close look at it to think someone got a good deal here? I mean, it looks like. Uh, yeah, yeah. What are your thoughts?
I think Atlanteans got probably a good deal here. I think with yellow in the game, they should have neighbors, which is usually one of their big issues. And then I guess I just would have guessed that Orin would have been the 40 faction here.
Right.
And so the fact that they're not, and actually Prospectors being cheaper, and I say this as a big Orin fan. I guess the fact that Atlanteans didn't start on D5 does help Orin quite a bit. Like they have some pretty clear town spots that they're not going to get interfered with.
Yeah,
I
that
think
center
going into
town
boss.
looks nice if prospectors don't mess with it for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
All
I
right.
I actually think Genie actually probably got the worst deal here. It's funny, I actually think
Yeah.
all four of these factions like pretty close. I probably would have not bid very many, any of these factions down particularly. Um, a
Well,
lot
I,
of points.
I wonder what they were seeing with Genie. I mean, they're not like the only kind of culty faction here. They're in the fourth seat, so they were guaranteed the priest if they wanted it. And I guess it looks like they'll have good neighbors. You assume Atlanteans were going to be near them as long as they didn't start. I got to put hex numbers on. What is that? E5. But I mean, as Atlanteans here, are you? I mean, you're missing out on Leech for a while, I would assume, right? Genie must be upgrading in the middle.
Yeah, that's the problem with Atlanteans is that Genie probably won't upgrade D3. Well, actually they might though, because now that both the spades got
Yeah.
taken, they're probably going double triple.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Good call. Good call. So that would mean Andus would be going for on Genie would be going for the workers action here. And it doesn't look like anyone else wants it for anything, right? I guess if Orin got enough leech, they
yeah,
could use it, but I don't. That doesn't seem to be happening.
I don't think so. I mean, Orin are going for it looks like a dwelling rush, which I think is actually going to work really well for them. It's funny I said that thought Orin might have been the 40 faction, and now after 5 moves, I might like their position the best already.
Yeah, this looks nice. Like you
I
said,
mean,
no
the dwelling
dwelling
rush
around
is
either, so it's not like there's any kind of trade-off. It's no opportunity
yeah,
cost to this. It's not like you're missing it by a round or something.
exactly. I wonder if sometimes prospectors will triple dig E7 that gray.
Yep.
They don't have as much incentive to this game as normal because they have other hexes they can get to. But it would quite hurt Orin if they chose to go that way. They
I
could
mean,
do
if they
F6
get
too. Actually,
F6, yeah. I mean, if I could see if prospectors would pass early, get the huge influx of coins. I don't know. I mean, they probably want a coins action start next round if they were first to pass. But I don't know. I guess if they had action on like priority on Orin next round, I could see them potentially going for it if they saw Orin in a strong enough position. But yeah, I don't know. How do you see? Okay, timing wise, they're going pretty fast here, and Atlanteans are already out of the round. Okay. Hey, I was gonna say, how do you see the passing order shaping up here?
yeah, the pass there doesn't terribly shock me from Atlanteans. He doesn't get a lot of benefit from building a TP there. I actually wonder now if he tries to go if he gets because he'll have the power, he might try to go all the way to a sanctuary next round, which would actually be pretty cool because not only would he score the sanctuary, obviously, but that would get him right to the 7 spot on his stronghold, Atlantis, and he'd get a ship
Uh,
upgrade, and then he could start
yeah,
expanding
that's
from there, which
nice. That's
would go
nice.
pretty well.
Okay,
So
so
that
that
six
would
coin title
be
is a prize.
so he's got a bunch of coins coming in from that 6 coin tile. He saved a bunch from the first round because all he did was build dwellings. And what he'd be doing is taking the workers to start the round and then
He needs
just
the workers action.
yeah. But
Yeah,
I mean, he's got it right. So he's gonna
yeah,
get
if he
we
wants
think
it.
at least. I mean, he's gonna get 4 more power too. So that's
Yeah, he's actually going to overflow a little
I was
bit,
gonna say
but
by
it's probably
one.
worth it.
Yeah, yeah, I can
Yeah,
imagine
just
it's
by
worth it.
one, it's probably worth it.
Yeah, even for the 3 points. Interesting. Okay, so Lanion's looking not bad here. And then, I mean, it looks
Yeah.
it's like almost a full-on dwelling rush from Orin. What it's going to be? Do you think he'll go for the trading post here? He'd have to give up one dwelling to do so.
Yeah, I mean, what he needs to think about the Orin right here is he wants to build a stronghold next round, and the question is making sure that he has enough coins to do that. If he builds 2 more dwellings, that could be a tad bit tight if he doesn't get on that dwelling scoring tile now that the 6 coins are gone. So yeah, he goes with the TP
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
instead, and now he just easily has enough resources to get that stronghold next round.
Alright. Nice. That'll look really good then. So yeah, so it'll be
Uh,
Temple this round. What favor would you take here as Orin? I mean, Earth one seems pretty out, obviously. Maybe Fire one. It looks a little coin tight.
It's a little coin tight. He could go fire one. He also still could take Earth one. I mean, he's only has 5 structures down, so
Yeah, that's fair.
that's not crazy. But or I guess 6 after he builds that. But fire him, I'd probably take fire one. Um, it also depends if he's able to pass on to the priest and get first priest to fire which he might, because I guess if Genie, it depends on what Genie do with the priest that they took. So what's
Yeah, I could
interesting
see
here is
that going
Genie
with
took
fire.
priest, not the workers. Oh, he can still take the workers too. So
Yeah, I was gonna
all
say
right, so
Genie
now they're
Genie ended up with enough leech that
yeah.
it's like they can take workers. They got some coins left over. You think the big question is,
Oh
do you
yeah,
think
I mean
they're still going double temple
look at
here?
this dwelling surrounded by all these TPs right in the middle of the
Yeah, I mean
map
it's
here.
that's gonna be a really generous. Gonna give away a lot of leech that way, but I mean, what else are you doing with this round otherwise? Hard digging? Probably
Yeah,
not.
yeah. This is a really nice economic opening from prospectors. I think the issue that I've sometimes found with prospectors when you get this 2 TP 3 dwelling opening is can you subsequently find enough points?
Mm,
I
yeah,
assume he'll build a temple for a scoring favor of some type, probably Earth One next round. But is that going to be enough? Basically, is going to be the question because
yeah,
this is kind of a low
yeah.
scoring track.
It's a real shame that the prospectors don't score off the digs this round. I always look at that and
That
want
would
it to be
be
the case. I mean,
so
obviously
strong
that
though
would be
if it was
a,
like around 3 or 4 dig round.
I mean, it would be such a busted design, but just I always want it, you know?
Yeah.
It would be such a busted design, and yet the Enlightened exist. So, although I guess they're not, that's just more of a
So
high
Genie
upside than
took
anything
Earth
else.
2, by the way.
Okay, so
Now up
Earth
to the
2
workers.
for Genie.
They're gonna go double temple. I think the question here is, do they take Earth 1 or do they go for Econ and take Fire 1? I think it's probably Earth 1, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
what does their next round look like? So they've got it. They already know which pass tiles they're looking at here, so they can kind of plan out, and they know how much power everyone's going to have. So they can kind of on Genie here can kind of plan out based on all of that information what favorite tile to take.
Yeah.
I wonder if
I think
sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I think temp ship being open is potentially nice for him.
Oh,
Although,
he
oh,
just
look at
passes.
this.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
He's passing onto big building. Interesting. So he's probably going to build a sanctuary now instead of that second temple.
Yeah, that makes
9 point
sense.
sanctuary this round. It's pretty nice. And
Yeah,
then he'll
nine
just
point
advance the ship
sanctuary, probably a
and build.
hard dig, right?
Yeah, he could
Advanced
do
ship,
both.
hard dig. Yeah,
He can actually sanctuary and build 2 dwellings plus shipping. Does he have? He has exactly enough to do exactly that. That's pretty nice.
nice. That's great. Would you go south here to make sure you guarantee G2, or would you go north here as Genie? Probably south, right?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Well,
Yeah, I
actually, I
think
guess G2 is not
south.
really at risk, right? Because I mean, Orin are going to get the center town as long as prospectors don't do anything great too rash
Yeah,
here.
as long as prospectors don't do something funky. Yeah, I might go B2 actually.
Yeah, because then
They're
you'll
both
you'll end up
fairly.
getting some leech from Atlanteans that way. Play friendly with the neighbors up there. Assume G2 is going to stick around, and I guess the tough thing about not being nomads on this map is that it's just that southern town potential. It's like really rough with brown in the game for yellow. F3 G2
Yeah.
is great, but turning that into a town, I mean, I guess in this case G1's probably safe for a while, so you could bridge over there, but
Well,
it's
that's
a little bit ugly.
another reason to potentially not take G2 is he could pretty easily just go the whole game without taking G2. If he's gonna get his shipping up reasonably soon, he could potentially just try to get to 3 shipping and just swing around through I7 and not even bother.
Right. That makes
I guess he does
sense.
need he'll need to find a second town spot, but that's probably the north off of B2A5
Yeah, unless
and then along the
prospectors really
top.
focus on shipping now, but I don't know where the priest would come from for that. So you got to figure that North Town would
Yeah,
be
it's hard
safe.
for prospectors to do a lot of early shipping.
Yeah. Well, so Orin did end up going for the stronghold this round, of course, and pulled Fire 1. So they've got some extra coin income
Fire
coming
one.
in.
Okay.
And now we see a temple from prospectors here. I wonder if it'll be a double econ thing. I gotta figure it's probably Earth 1 though.
I feel like it's gotta be the Earth one or Water one.
We didn't actually really
He
talk
could be
about
thinking Water one.
okay. Yeah, yeah, it's right. Of course. That makes sense. Yeah, we didn't really talk about the track too much because they got started pretty quick here and we got a little bit of a late start. I was trying to get the stream stuff set up, but It's kind of interesting. Big building round six is like very low scoring generally, and I think given that some of these
Yeah.
factions are going to build big buildings in this round, it's going to be extremely low scoring this game. But we do have towns round five, which helps out a lot. So it's kind of um, I can see why you're concerned about where prospectors' points would come from without scoring favors, of course. Uh, but I mean, who do you see any other factions that kind of might be in trouble looking at the track and where they're at right now?
Um,
I guess also
I
it should
mean,
be
not
said the cult rewards are pretty
terribly.
strong here. A lot of spades, a lot of coins
Yeah,
supporters
the
this
cold
round.
rewards are good, which is nice for Genie. Like I imagine Ondas here is going to build a sanctuary for Earth One, and then he'll flop it over to Earth or to Fire, so he'll pick up the four extra workers. So
Right. That's
I think he's
nice.
going to be okay. I mean, I guess the TP round being next round is a little awkward, as there's actually not a lot of neighbors for like anybody right now.
Yeah.
Prospectors four and each have one with each other in the east, and then otherwise it's pretty empty. So,
And
um,
the two bonus tiles that are missing in this game do have coins on them too. It's not, it's not the 6 coin tile, but it's there are 6 coins worth of tiles missing here. So coins are a bit tight.
true. Yeah,
Although I guess prospectors have that figured out, and Atlanteans are sitting on a mountain of coins anyhow. But,
yeah. Genie also worth noting here. Didn't use their priest to advance their ship. They sent it to air,
oh,
um,
that's interesting.
which just means that he either needs to like take a priest town now, or a priest town, a priest power action here to get to that B2A5, or maybe he's just going to hard dig one dwelling instead of two. He does build the sanctuary though.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm surprised by that. I would have thought shipping here for sure. Also, I've been a little bit negligent for chat here. Um, Missed a couple of things earlier that aren't as relevant now, but um, Cerrito saying that FireX might be hoping for Earth One round four, maybe. Um, yeah, discussing whether it was worth prospectors going Earth One in the chat here. Mixed opinions.
Mm-hmm. It actually does seem like neither. I mean, neither Orin nor prospectors are taking Earth One this round, so it feels like each of them might be interested. I think one copy is going to be available in round four for one of them.
Right.
We'll see who gets it. Could be dependent on tempo of like who passes out around three sooner.
Yeah, that priest to air is really interesting for Genie. I mean, I guess they've got three spots now, which can't be bad. But so you think they're relying on the priest action here to advance ship and get these two dwellings down?
Yeah, it's either that or maybe he just takes single dig. Um, he's one power away from double dig, um,
Yeah. Oh, but he
which
might
would
be
be
holding
really
out for that
nice.
though, because I mean, Atlanteans are going to upgrade here, right? I'm trying to think of what else. They took the
Oh
workers
yeah,
they
that's
needed
right.
for
He's gonna
the
get it. So yeah,
if they're going sanctuary, which I mean, the line you mentioned earlier, it seems pretty. I have trouble seeing how that line gets beat,
I mean he took the workers action, so I feel like that has to be what he's going for.
right? And I don't think he has any way to delay
But
giving
yeah,
Genie
that
that
it
power.
does give Genie double dig.
No, no, he goes for coins. Okay, so yeah, that's how he delays giving Genie that
He's
power.
stalling. Yeah,
So that
I
that's
think that's a
brutal.
stall.
That's brutal. Yeah, I
It's a
feel like
pretty
that's
smart play by
a
Eric, actually.
yeah. I feel like that's a I mean, actually, I guess it makes perfect sense for Atlanteans. I'm sure he was mostly considering whether he needed that power immediately, like if he needed it for like later this round or next round type of thing, because Atlanteans don't really need
Yeah.
double dig access the same as other fact. I mean, I think I've literally never played Atlanteans, so you know better than I do, but I feel like that's a really good example of this kind of high level play you'd expect at this table, where it's that coins action probably wasn't going anywhere. That must have just been against Genie. Oh right, but Genie have the flip, so never mind. I think I'm not. I think that makes
Yeah,
sense.
Genie's got a stall move
I
too.
forgot about the stall move. Okay, all right. So
That's fun.
double dig after all if he
A
wants it.
couple people in chat, also mentioned the concept of Genie building a stronghold right now, which would
Oh,
be hilarious. Their stronghold does cost one fewer workers, so he can actually afford it. And the
He's already
stronghold
got 3
scores
priests to cult. Yeah.
a point per priest to the cult. So I mean, this
At
would be
least
pretty
15
epic, I have
points,
to say.
right?
You
Then
know,
where do you go from there?
they're
That's a pretty it's a
seen
pretty
worse. I've
tall
seen worse
start.
ideas.
Okay.
Yeah, I
I
mean, if
mean,
you
yeah.
can get double dig next round,
Scoomy
man,
says round 2 strongholds fun. Played it on Fire and Ice once.
no,
That's interesting. I would never have considered that line. Okay, and it looks like he
he's going
isn't.
for it. Oh, interesting. But he did a single dig hard dig instead of
No, he just did a straight up hard dig, it looks like.
yeah, he just did a hard dig.
I
So
mean, he's
like
got the worker income come in. This is Genie we're talking about here. He's got the worker income coming in next round. I mean, usually if I'm considering whether to do hard dig, I say, how many workers do I have in hand? But I'm guessing Ondas is just a step ahead there and says, like, listen, I got Earth 2. I got 4 workers coming off the cult. I need this power for other things.
he just wants it for coins. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
that is
That's my
fair.
read at least. I can't think of what else it would
He
be.
might just take single dig now because the one thing is
Yeah.
E2 E3 super nice for him because now he does
Oh,
does
there it
double
is. Now he
dig and
takes double dig. Okay, so he just wanted
he'll
access
just
to
leave
E2. That
E2
makes
open.
perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Uh,
Atlanteans went for they did the sanctuary just like you mentioned. So they're up to 1 shipping because of their inherent power there, and they grabbed the priest action. And it looks like they went Earth 1, Water 2 with the sanctuary. What do you think of that combo?
so I think the water 2 action and then now this priest is at least in part a stall tactic to try to get onto the big building tile that Genie are sitting on
Yeah,
because
yeah,
Atlanteans have both big building tiles up, and so that thing's worth 8 points for them, which is really nice. And it looks like it's going to work because Genie, unless he wants to do a lamp movement just to screw Atlanteans, is going to have to pass here.
yeah. I was gonna say it's got to be. I'm trying to think if there are any other factions. Never mind. What I was gonna say didn't make sense. It's a little bit unique to have 3 stall actions in hand at the start of the game, but they're just so valuable that wasting them for
Yeah,
unless it was like
yeah.
a different type of table where Atlanteans were really the only competition. I can't see that making any sense.
No, yeah, I would be very surprised. I imagine this delay is more of him deciding which bonus tile to take.
No,
No,
but
he
he
doesn't.
does flip it. Wow. I mean,
Wow.
interesting. Okay. But I guess it was just the 1 stall anyways. He didn't need to maybe he figures where the lamps go in the rest of the game. He's already got 1 spade coming off of um
Yeah, I guess
he
if he
could
doesn't feel the
pull
need
off.
to flip over to air, then he can just wait until he flips back to Earth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's
or maybe
fire to
he's
earth late in the game and that's it, right? That's interesting. I wouldn't have guessed that, but that looks pretty nice. And I mean, this would not only do Atlanteans miss out on the big building tile here, which they could certainly use those workers, but those 8 points look real nice too. It does mean Genie get back onto the 6 coins as well.
true, true.
I
Yeah,
said
I
back
guess
onto
right.
6 coins. I don't think
It's
I
not
don't think
just
he was on
what
it
are you
before.
giving, it's what do you get yourself. But
Yeah.
ultimately this sort of yeah, who does all this benefit most? It's prospectors and Orin because
Yeah,
both these guys now
exactly.
took
Exactly.
multiple what I would think are suboptimal moves. Because if I'm Atlantean and I know this is going to happen, I probably would have just taken Fire 1, um, not bothered with Water 2
Totally.
in what is actually shaping up to be a kind of competitive cult game because Orin are going to start coming real quick here
Oh yeah,
now
they
that
got
these
2 steps
strongholds
every round.
are so yeah.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, this
So
is
really
very
interesting.
interesting. Okay.
Now Atlanteans have a weird incentive to pass early to get on a big building tile that's just sitting there. So
Totally. Well, what do they want to accomplish this round? They're already on 1 shipping. Got to figure they're going to want to get out at least a dwelling or 2 to keep that worker economy going. I mean, they could upship and get out 3 dwellings, right?
I
Forgive my
would think
ignorance. You don't think so?
yeah, no, that's no, I do. I think upship and three dwelling would be the natural move here. I think the question is, you know, do they maybe skip one of those dwellings? I think they're just going to keep a close eye on what everyone else does. Like everyone's pretty resource heavy right now, actually. So I think he could afford to upship once, build 1 or 2 dwellings. Then maybe if he passes one early to grab that tile, he'll do it. But I don't think like foregoing the round entirely would be worth it.
Yeah. Okay, and
He's
we
also
see
one ship
a
scoring right now.
Oh, yep. Yeah, good point. Good point. So he's definitely. doing that. He's also got 4 power. I'm guessing this is just going to be a conversion for coins, and he'll just kind of collect some cheap leech if he can. Uh, yeah, we'll see. Okay, and then meanwhile, Orin are starting to dig through the middle for their town. They don't want prospectors to get any ideas here. Prospectors took the coins on their first action, I believe, so they could have dug through the middle. Probably would have been. I would have considered it as prospectors there, honestly. Um,
Yeah, I think that was a smart move by Gene or by Orin to protect that.
and you were talking about the spade tightness kind of earlier on in the game. Orin started off with a dwelling rush, so that's how Rondoris is sort of working around that. He's got the workers to spare, so that looks pretty nice.
Yeah,
Interesting with the
Genie also have a million
Atlanteans. Oh,
workers.
excuse me. Oh, okay. So prospectors
Million.
go north, so that's still under threat.
Yeah, he's gonna have to take it right now.
I
This
was
has got to
say,
be a
are you
double
hard
dig.
digging D5 here?
No, I think it's a double dig, but it could be a hard dig. But
Oh yeah, could be a double dig. Oh, he's just so tight on coins though.
Mhm. Oh, you know what? Yeah, maybe it is a hard dig just so he can build because then he can build a TP and take the two key town, which I think he'd probably be pretty interested. Oh
That's
no,
the
there
thing
is no
though.
two key town.
Atlanteans took it. I was actually
Yeah.
just going to say that before you said that. It's such an awkward dynamic. I'm so accustomed to playing with the mini expansions exclusively, and it's such a like. It's always in the back of my head, like, well, whoever gets first town has priority on Tukey. It's
Yeah.
like so often relevant, but it's like so bizarre to me having the Atlanteans already take it off the table. I guess that's like half the benefit of it, huh?
Yeah. It is a big benefit, no doubt about that. Orin, yeah, this is interesting for Orin because I mean, honestly, he's probably interested. I think he's still interested in getting the town though, because he needs one additional step to get to the 4 spot on air.
Yeah, so you
But
think
man, he's
hard dig
also just so
D5,
he's
trading
just so
post, and then the
way
8 point
tight.
town, something like that.
Yeah. 8 point town or a priest and send it to air, but one of the
Oh, right,
two.
could just do priest town. Yeah, interesting. All right, well, let's see
Hmm.
what I'm missing in chat here. I'm having trouble doing both. We've got George Shortwell in chat for just in time for water 2 here. Um, got some folks talking about the stall that had happened last round between Lannians and Genie. It's interesting, by the way, where like as yellow and blue on base map, particularly with these placements, like you think of it as playing nice, but in this case, that's the most kind of aggressive play we've seen so far. They're sharing leech pretty freely, but the pass tile blocking was pretty brutal.
Right, they're being very nice on the board and very not nice in the tempo stall game.
Yeah, yeah. And you were right. It looks like Ronda Rice did double dig, huh? Starting to work down towards F6 there too on the eastern continent.
Yeah,
Getting
I
some
feel
very
like
welcome leech. It looks like
he
from
got a little leash,
prospectors.
so now he doesn't have to spend a worker to do a TP. Oh, interesting. He did his TP over there, so he's planning on holding out until round 5 for the towns now. I would have to think.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. He secured his territory. Interesting. All right. So
I'm not sure I love that. I'm not
prospectors.
sure I love that. I feel like he's a little light on coins. I feel like a coin town
Yeah, I would have been very
is.
tempted by the coin down. I mean, he's getting a bunch of leech, so that's maybe not bad. I mean, Orin still have, but yeah, then it just raises the question of he's gonna miss out on the spade now, right?
Yeah,
I don't see how he gets to the 4 spot on excuse me, on air there.
yeah. I don't think he's going to now.
Unless like who would be giving him leech? I'm not sure. Well, okay, so as all right, let's talk network. So at this stage in the game, we're closing out round 3, approaching kind of the halfway point of the rounds of the game here. Orin obviously have a pretty decently sized footprint here. Uh, Prospectors have some connection challenges, I would say. Uh, where would you, if you're playing any of these factions right now, how are you evaluating prioritizing network at the end of the game?
Yeah, I mean, Orin with the Dwelling Rush and just the fact that he's got so much open space to work with, I think he has to be thinking that he's got high potential for a good network here, and especially if he passes before Prospectors, which it looks like he probably will. He can grab Earth One with that Earth One round four Earth One temple we were talking about earlier, and if he gets that, then he's got more incentive to build more dwellings. So I think he's in a pretty good position for that. I think Genie also, if they can get some shipping, I mean, they've prioritized priesthood cults and not shipping, so it seems like Ondas is not thinking that much about network right now. He seems to be more focused on the cults, but I still think he has some potential. And then Atlanteans are probably the one who are going to have a little bit more of a challenge getting to a high number. So I feel like because they're going to want to build out around Atlantis a little bit, which is going to require some spades. Like he could go on a shipping spree and build all these dwellings, but I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't think it's
probably
going
he'll
to get
just
as
take
high.
a network
But
if he can
he'll
get it,
probably
right?
still get
But
six because I don't know if prospectors are connected.
yeah, that was exactly what I was thinking. Snake in chat is saying, well, nobody cares about D6, so that would be Prospector's connection path. And I guess D6 is only one chip away from where they are on the eastern continent right now, so they might be able to prioritize that. Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
guess
that's
unless
fair.
that's a third town for Orin, and Orin really want to get aggressive about it, it's going to take a while before Genie make their way over there, if at all. The only reason they
Yeah,
want to
I
take
mean,
it is to
or
get
I
to
really want
D6, I
a neighbor
guess.
out there.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
I mean, I think I don't think Orin would take D6. I think if anyone takes D6, it would be Genie, but the odds of them getting there before Prospectors feel low, and
Mm,
they don't have anything to take it. Like they don't have any incentive to take it besides blocking.
right,
So
totally. And look at this, Genie do get
Prospectors
back
also
onto the big
potentially
building tile
connect
too.
to the south.
Oh, sorry, what'd you say?
I just said Prospectors also potentially have connection path to the south. Like
Oh,
route could
yeah,
go
they
both
could
ways.
still make it through H4 there. Yeah, this looks more like a Witches game than a Orin game to me. The footprint here. Okay, so Genie, so nobody opts for an early town. I think a couple of them might have been able to afford it, but it looks like they're all sort of holding out for round 5, which makes sense without the 2 key available um, for the most part. Orin somehow managed to get their power bowls full and going into the next round just about. So it looks like probably a coin
Yeah,
action for them,
his
huh?
coin back is massive, massive for
Yeah.
Orin.
And still 0 priest production all game so far for Orin. No priest to cult yet. Kind of rare to see
Yeah,
that going into round 4, I would imagine.
yeah.
Although
I'm still
maybe,
actually
yeah.
still
What are your thoughts on
I
that? I
like
guess you're the
to
Orin
know
specialist
because
here.
I think he's gonna. Well, actually, so one thing is that we're talking about this whole Temple Earth One, right? They have
Mm.
to decide, and I just noticed people are saying it in chat too. Like Orin have to decide whether they take coins here or whether they open Temple for Earth One.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
if they Temple, then Prospectors probably take Temple for Earth One with their first action. Um,
yeah. That makes sense.
Interesting too that Orin passed. I guess it makes sense that Orin passed for dwelling scoring instead of the big building tile. But that's really nice for Genie. I imagine we're gonna get that Genie stronghold now this round.
Yeah. Yep, yep. Okay, now Atlanteans just make it to 2 ship now. What have they been up to? I guess they built the trading post, and now they'll build out 2 dwellings. So this looks pretty efficient for Atlanteans to me, but I'm not as familiar with what their faction board looks like income wise and stuff. It's pretty standard, yeah.
It's it's pretty standard. Yeah.
So I mean, looking at their resources and income compared to like Orin and prospectors and I guess everyone else, they kind of things are looking a little bit resource tight there, but they managed to get a lot out of this round from starting so tall, to my eye at least. And then we got
Yeah.
cult bonuses coming in. It's just Atlanteans getting 1 spade off of this one. No one else managed to make
Yeah,
it to
which
the
is
4
so
spot.
surprising for So Genie, by the way, did he we talked about, oh, he probably by using that lamp early as that stall, he was basically foregoing either the air spades or the earth spades. It looks like he's decided to forego the air spades.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, we've got the coins for Priest on the Cult reward this round. And I would have expected, I mean, I guess there's a decent number of priests there, but I'm just looking at Orin here and feeling like I wish I had priests on the Cult. I mean, I guess he's got other things going on for his game, but yeah, this is the stage where you really want to see those on the Colts, and we only got 3 priests in hand between all these players right now too.
Yeah,
Okay, so he does
Genie
go
have
Temple
four
here,
down.
yeah.
Yeah, Temple Earth one. We didn't comment on the fact, by the way, the prospectors took G6 last round. Um,
Yes, yes.
which obviously opens up F7 for them, is a good hex, but is also a little painful for Orin, who now have to double dig instead of single dig 2 hexes for
Yeah.
their town. It just makes
I
it a
sort
little
of
more
I sort of
awkward.
figured when they were double digging F6 that they had pretty much resigned themselves to this at that point. Like they'll still be able to get 2 towns for sure, and maybe 3 towns if they can stretch in the north with a neighbor there.
Yeah,
But it is painful,
yeah,
obviously. You hate to have to double dig
yeah. Orin just
over
not.
the.
You've been harping on it, but coming back to Orin not having it, having such a minimal cult presence right now, I think is really gonna bite them in the end. But
Yeah, it's a
we'll
bit
see.
painful.
I mean, that works.
I guess fire could be. I don't know. Maybe Atlanteans prioritize fire this round for the sake of the points. But I mean, we got to remember that Genie aren't going to be at the top of fire cult. So, or have a
Right.
bunch of cult steps
Fair.
coming in. They could, if they, you know, they could definitely get some cult points off of the other cults and try to win fire here with a couple of steps.
Atlanteans also, have the 2 steps per cult, presumably, um, from their stronghold when they get to
Oh,
10,
you know what?
10
Yeah,
power
wasn't
value.
that's a
So
10.
that's gonna, they're
Oh
gonna be
wow. Okay, so
winning.
Atlanteans are going to be dominating the cults then.
They're gonna do real. They're probably, I would guess, Atlanteans are gonna win 2 cults. Exactly which ones, I'm not sure yet, but
Okay, and then right, so the Atlanteans put their spade on B2 here. So it looks like they're hopeful for second town in the north, and then they'll connect it up. Or did they just think that area was threatened? I mean, it doesn't look like too much of the area in like the classic kind of Swarmlings megatown area. Spooning with Genie over there is very threatened. I mean, Genie aren't digging anything over there. So I guess B2 is just.
yeah,
What's your read on that one?
yeah, it's a little unclear. I mean, I would think the B2 spade indicates wanting to form a second town up there and then connect back to a bridge for all the stronghold bonuses. But the problem is, I don't know if they're gonna have any neighbors up
Yeah,
there
with
now.
what neighbor? I mean, it would be very late in the game that I would think Orin would be on C2, and prospectors don't really look like they're going shipping anytime soon. So yeah, I don't
And
know.
even if they do at this point, B3 isn't really worth it. I mean, like they'll probably just go straight to A7.
Right? Yeah, that makes sense. These guys are playing pretty fast, or it seems
Yeah,
like it
this
to
has
me
been a
at
very,
least. Yeah, yeah. Okay,
very quick game.
what am I
We've been
missing
on
here?
for
What are
45 minutes, and we're already halfway through round 4.
yeah? What else are
Um,
you seeing here? I feel like there's been a couple factions we haven't really touched on in a little bit.
yeah, I was gonna talk about prospectors. I mean, they missed Earth one obviously, but took Air one as consolation prize in this temple round. Um, I just, it comes back to what I was saying earlier. I just don't see them finding enough points here. Like his cult
Yeah,
position isn't that strong because he hasn't produced very many temples, but his network. I think he's gonna struggle to do really well on a network. Well, maybe not. It's funny. Outside of Orin, all of a sudden all these networks look pretty small. Like Genie all of a
yeah.
sudden feel like they've gone nowhere in the last 2 rounds. So I don't know. Maybe prospectors can get second on network, but I still don't know if that's necessarily enough here because there's not that many points left on the track, right? I mean, they'll probably pick up 2 towns in the town round, but
Yeah, but that's pretty much it. And yeah, I mean, what I'm seeing is both Genie and Prospectors have a pretty decent pile of resources. I mean, Prospectors look a little Bitcoin type, but I think like sorry, worker type, but I think a worker town, a worker's action could fix that. But they both have a lot of resources coming in. but not a lot of priests. If they want to kind of really expand and get shipping going, they are going to need to come up with priests somehow here.
Yeah. Well, Prospectors did just do a little bit of an early pass here onto the ship scoring tile, so presumably he's going to try to up his shipping a couple times next round and score a little bit that way. Genie, at least relative to Prospectors, here in round four, at least they have a bunch of pass points, right? Like if he builds a stronghold this round, like I think he's going to, he'll pass for 8 plus another 4 or 5. Um, and
Yeah, it's
then
pretty big.
keep that going. So at least he's potentially got that going for him. But I don't know. I mean, like the more and more I look at this, I just think I like Atlantean's position the best.
Oh, really? Okay. All right, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
I mean, it just feels like it's a relatively low scoring game overall, and they've got these two stronghold bonuses that they have left, which I'm feeling pretty confident they're gonna get. Just
Yeah,
worth. It's just a lot of points. Those
that is a
bonuses
lot of
plus
points
the
coming in.
straight 20.
Plus, I mean, nobody's
Feels
really the scores have been pretty tight. We haven't really talked about this, but the scores on the board have been pretty tight throughout the game. Um, you know, Atlanteans have 59, Orin and Genie have 49. It's a 10-point spread. But Atlanteans are in the points lead right now too.
yeah, yeah. I mean, some of that's a remnant from them having the most at the auction, but
Yeah, true. But they also, I mean, it looks to me like they're going to be getting on a bonus tile this round as well, because they've got their water one step still, and Orin are looking closer and closer to passing. Okay, so after our talk of Orin potentially missing out on scoring favors, they did grab Earth one, Water one this round. If they can get on that coins pass tile, their economy looks somewhat more balanced.
yeah, yeah. The I'm not sure I love this sanctuary just because of the coin cost, but I understand the need for points, and I guess maybe he's planning on taking a coin town next round, and if he can turn both of these into towns,
Yeah.
you know, not terrible.
Yeah, I mean, there's some Orin doubters in chat right now for sure, saying looking rough for Orin, not the Orin strongholds. Um, I guess, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's tough. Like I said, passing on the coins right now, and I mean, they're not going to open with the coins action. We got to figure prospectors probably want that. Maybe not. I don't know. But regardless, they are going to balance their economy a bit. They've got both scoring favors. And we think they're gonna have some network. So I don't know. 47 points is looking a little scary though.
Yeah, it just feels a little low. The Are we about to get another stall war between Atlanteans and Genie over
Oh
there?
no! Play nice, guys. We got what are Genie gonna do for this? I mean, there's no reason not to use their lamp this round if they would like to. If stalling is to their benefit, they could still increase shipping, get out a dwelling, maybe two or something. Where are their priorities at right now? I mean, I feel like looking at Genie here, unless you're kind of punting network entirely, I want to get out some dwellings this Genie here. We've got these nice shipping opportunities for dwellings, but it doesn't look like he's going shipping here.
No. Well, he just sent Priest of Earth, which I have to say is a that's a strange one.
Yeah. I think it would at least go to air to try to fight. I mean,
I would
because
have
that,
thought,
that
yeah, air
that
or,
Earth
or
Priest is going
water.
to end up on fire, we assume, right? Like, I mean, those two steps are going to flip on
Right. So,
fire. I guess that's 2 points. I don't know.
well, it could be water, right? If he goes up on water next round somehow, he could then
Oh,
flip
true,
water to earth
true.
instead of fire to earth.
Huh.
Oh wow, look at this
Wow. Okay.
bridge. I did look at Gene thinking that they're probably going to try to triple dig one of these hexes, but going with the bridge first is ballsy. I guess Orin doesn't have
My.
any shipping,
Yeah,
so
that's bold. Yeah, I mean, everyone's at least 2 actions away from it. And by everyone, I guess I mean Orin. Everyone else is a little bit further away from it. So okay, and so Atlanteans build a temple. It is the temple round here. And they've got enough priests to
yeah.
cult. That all their income's looking pretty nice here. They pull Earth 2. So I guess that gets them up to where they need to be to get spades off the cult here. That's an interesting. You don't see it that late too often.
You don't, but I mean, are all the
Makes a
water
fair bit of
ones?
sense
All the
though.
water ones are gone, and air one doesn't do them any good right now. So
May as well,
plus,
right?
it's actually pretty valuable cult positioning too. Not just the two spades, but also the the actual relative to everyone else for scoring. Like he's basically gonna win Earth now.
Totally. Yeah.
So
Once he forms, if he can get the mega town going before Genie. I mean, Genie might be able to lock it out. Well, we'll see how it all goes. But
that's
I,
true. If Genie gets to the top of one and then flop over, they could do that.
yeah. So I mean, I guess yeah, Genie are relying on the double dig action here, and it looks like they're gonna get it. No one else can afford it. I don't think anyone else wants it either. And look at these coins from Prospectors. Also, 37 coins. They're gonna be getting some priest towns to go shipping here. I think.
Yeah, one thing that's a little bit unfortunate for prospectors is to complete this western or central town, he's got to build a sanctuary,
I know
which is
that's a lot of
around early,
workers.
and it's expensive. Yeah,
So what is it? Just probably Worker Town, Priest Town, get to two shipping, something like that. But finishable. I mean, I guess let's
yeah,
talk towns. Everyone's building towns this round, right? We see Genie put one down here. They're still gonna. We think they can get double dig, get a second town in the south, or and have at least one, probably two towns here. And then prospectors have two coming in as well, right?
yeah, yeah. This is where Atlanteans might falter a little bit because I don't know if they're gonna get. They're not probably getting one at all, right?
Yeah, I can't. I don't see it, but okay, so you mentioned their dig upgrades are upgraded for those of us who are uninitiated. What's the cost there?
Oh yeah, so Atlanteans, their dig upgrade only costs a priest, a worker, and 4 coins
Okay,
each, but they only get four. They only get 4 points for it instead of the normal six.
right.
Um,
Okay,
but
okay, interesting.
so I do think we'll see that from Atlanteans um, this round.
Okay, so we do see the double spade for Genie, like we were talking about. Zorito in chat was asking, are Genie upgrading digs? That could have been an interesting line too. Yeah, that could have been interesting. It looks to me
Yeah,
like they
that's
were a little bit
true.
short on
He was a little short on workers
workers.
to then also finish
Yeah,
the town. Yeah,
but potentially, I mean, potentially still an option for next round, depending. I mean, I guess I can't see I can't really visualize where Genie are going with this. I think it depends a lot on what type of towns they get, whether they really push on these cults or whether they decide to go for network. Ooh, Earth 3 for prospectors. Okay.
wow. All right, we're getting spicy over here. So
Yeah,
prospectors are going to try to close that, I guess.
maybe. I mean, that is the threshold that they need for getting these spades or rather priests off of the cults too.
Reset spades. But I feel like
Yeah,
if you're gonna do that, you have to feel like you have the line to close it, which I guess they do. Because really the only way for Atlanteans to close it is to get to that 10 value
right. Yeah, yeah.
uh, stronghold. It's gonna take them a few actions to get there, whereas prospectors can they can take a cult an 8 point town right now,
I
or
could
they
see
could just
Genie taking the
leave
8 point
it
town now,
still
flipping
set.
over and using a priest though, potentially. I don't know if that's worth it, but it is quite the
True.
swing on these other two factions. I mean, the top of these cults are looking mighty competitive. I mean, there's a lot of point
Yeah.
swings
Yeah.
going on. I mean,
Three
these
different
guys are
cults
going,
with two.
yeah, these guys are going really fast. In my opinion, I mean, they're all really sharp players, obviously. But I would be like pretty bogged down by trying to figure out who I think is my biggest threat, which of those cults to swing. I mean, look at it. We're in round 5
Yeah,
here.
it's super tight.
Yeah, there's like 3 ties at the top of these cults. But okay, Genie goes
So
ship
of course
town.
on takes a shipping town.
I mean, that's the type of economy. So to me, that reads like network push. I don't know
Yeah,
where network caps for Genie here, but that does open up all these yellows that I keep thinking he's gonna go for.
I, yeah. But
I,
why
I don't
why ship
know.
why a ship town and not a coin town in a ship advance?
I don't know. Maybe he's passing onto that dwelling scoring as soon as he makes the second town. I'm not sure who else is. I don't know. I'm not sure who's getting out of this round quickly, to be
Uh,
honest.
Well, prospectors have a nice balanced economy of 26 coins and one worker, so.
You love to see it. That's hilarious. I mean, I'm sure they will burn through all those coins. I don't think it's going to be a hoarding situation at the end here.
So now, see, prospectors didn't go close Earth. Now Atlanteans, if they want to, could just build this bridge and close
Oh, that would
Earth.
put them at
Which,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, it does mean they're not getting another town, but I'm not sure they are anyways. So
Yeah, and it looks like prospectors are just going. I mean, they might end pretty low footprint here because they've got 3 priests in hand, 24 coins in hand. To me, I think they're just upgrading shipping 3 times and then potentially stalling, if not just getting out of the round. So they're going to go into the final round
yeah,
with what is this? 8 structures, 3
18,
shipping, and 4
18 coins.
workers. That's
Yeah,
not
and they'll
that's not
have
really network potential.
and 107 points banked.
Oof, yeah.
So
Okay. Well,
it doesn't
there it
doesn't
is. All right,
feel
I'm gonna
great.
step away for just a minute and leave you to it. I'll be back.
Oh man, all right. Bash on Lustrous time. Let's go.
I'm gonna listen later. All right, I'll be right back.
All right. So Rondo does single dig and not doesn't just the single dig to D7. Obviously he's going for a town there, but is purposefully slowing down his pace as he's the only one. Oh, that's not true. I was gonna say he's the only one not on a scoring tile, but that's not true. But he's clearly angling at passing after some of these other factions, I think, to get on a scoring tile for the last round. And yeah, Genie. What did Genie do? Oh, they just now built a TP, so we'll see what they're doing now. I have to think he's trying to get some dwellings out, which he can. So this is probably a worker town. Nope, cult town. I guess he can use priests as workers. He needs some way to uh, convert them without sending them to cults, anyways, so that he can reproduce them. He might close water. We'll see. And so now Atlanteans are digging out. This is like everyone races to almost the tops of the cults and then doesn't actually close them. But I do think Lustrous was right that prospectors are probably just going to advance their ship 3 times because of the ship scoring. So they're probably not closing Earth this round. It just means Atlanteans can wait a little bit, but I don't think they can wait long enough to form that town because if they want to form that town, it's going to take them into next round, kind of regardless. So
All right, I am back.
we'll see. Welcome back. You missed Genie forming a town and Orin doing a single dig on D7.
Okay. So Genie
I
are
think
gonna
that's all
close
you missed.
Earth after all, probably, huh?
The only way Genie would close Earth is if they sent a priest of water right now and then flipped over, which they very well might do. But they also,
Oh, I was
I just
thinking
feel
they
like they
flip
would have wanted to build in some.
fire and then priest. I don't know. That dwelling score
Oh, they could
tile's
do
still
it that
hanging
way
out though.
too. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they
Well,
could flip
let's see.
fire.
So Atlanteans passing tempo is becoming rapidly very important here. We've got dwelling
Yeah,
pile open.
I was mentioning while you were gone. I think.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah. No, no, I was saying is I was mentioning while you were gone that Oren slow rolled this dig on D7, I think precisely for tempo purposes. Although now he
yeah.
does the 2 actions in one, so maybe it's changing his mind.
Yeah, then folks are talking about network and chat. Prospectus without one makes a network push awkward, says Cerrito. That's a very good point. Yeah, I mean, it seems clear to me that they're They're not really going for it anyways. Or they don't really have the ability to push it much. And then Genie, yeah, we'll see. And that big building tile looks great for everybody who isn't prospectors as well. Everyone else is maxing that one out easy.
So you know what? Genie went ahead and did a priest as a worker to build this dwelling, but I realized that another thing they could have done that I would have thought might have been interesting was if they had tried to switch over to Earth and claim both Earth and water, and then that would have given them enough power to take the workers' action and build the dwellings anyways. But I think the
Oh,
problem
interesting.
is that if he the second he flips to Earth, I think Atlanteans just finish their stronghold.
Oh, I see. Yeah, they're one bridge
Like
away,
or
huh?
connect up the yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. So why bother? I kept forgetting about that aspect of their ability. Yeah, and without the neighbor,
I
I
mean, it
guess
seems
there's
like it's
really.
kind of willing to away.
Say it again.
I said it seems like he's kind of willing to wait here, Atlanteans. Like maybe he's trying to still entertain getting a town. I just don't know where he's going to get
Yeah. I
the
mean, there's a really high
coins.
upside to getting that town. I mean, it could involve. I mean, he's got no coins.
Is no, literally no coins.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there's literally no bridge pressure as well. Someone would have to be blocking to take that. So the bridge will be there next round for Atlanteans if they want it. Not if they want that coins action though. Oh, but Atlanteans
No.
they can do workers for bridges, yeah. So they're in okay shape. Okay, I was forgetting that part. I was thinking they just
Yeah.
lost their bridge options, but I was forgetting about that part.
I mean, they really want to get Atlanteans. Also, they do need to make sure they can get to the 16. Obviously, if they get the town, then they're almost there. Technically, not fully there.
Yeah, yeah. What does that look like? I mean, that's E1, F1, F2, maybe a bridge.
I mean, I think the bridge is clearly a part of it, but even after the bridge right now, they'd only be at 12.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they would
Sorry. I guess I
need
mean like
enough
potentially a second
for.
bridge to H2. It just looks like that would be just a lot of
Oh,
dwellings,
maybe. I think it's
basically.
probably more likely just those dwellings and a
Yeah.
TP or two.
And a coin town and a pass for the coins action. I gotta figure they got nothing otherwise. They must be thinking coin town here, yeah.
I mean, assuming he can even get the town, like
Yeah. Oh, right. So the bridge forms triggers their ability, but doesn't form a town. So
the bridge forms
yeah,
the
this
two steps, but
is
which does give
yeah,
them
yeah,
some coins in the form of power. But
yeah. That's true.
all right,
No, this is looking a little awkward for
Genie
them.
pulled the trigger.
Yeah, no surprises there.
Yeah,
So all in all, this has been a pretty tall game. Like structures on the board wise, I would say pretty exceptionally tall
yeah.
as far as I'm concerned. I mean, maybe some of that is, I guess, just based on which factors are in the game, but it's definitely been an interesting one. And yeah, and Genie, it's being
Genie
pointed
didn't
out that
use
Genie
their
didn't use their lamp, so they miss out on these spades.
yeah. I mean, I guess if his plan is just to build a couple more dwellings on these outstanding yellows, then maybe it doesn't feel as important.
Yeah, I guess
Um,
coins action and 2 ship upgrades gets a decent number of dwellings out. Yeah, and being on the dwellings pass tile for the last round means that's probably all that's happening, right? Genie are gonna upgrade some ships, build some dwellings, call it a day. Try to close out a cult, maybe.
yeah, I mean, the one advantage is now he could, for example, use his lamp to like flip over to air and win that, or something else.
Yeah,
Like he
right.
can use it
So that makes
for
sense. Yeah.
its reasons.
All right, let's check in on the points real quick. So You mentioned this big pass coming in from prospectors. They're at what? This is going to be a 12-point pass, 9 for the bonus tile, 3 for air
Oh
1.
yeah, I forgot about the TPs. So yeah, so he'll be at 110.
And then Genie are looking pretty good too, but a lot of this is going to come down to the cults, I'm sure. Oh, Orin did
Yeah,
close
I think
fire, like we were sort of considering earlier. I did miss that.
Yeah, Genie's position feels a little better than Prospector's right now because he's got more cult points and more stuff to do next round. And he's only going to be, I mean, he'll be 8 points behind after this round, but he's got pass tile too. So
Yeah, and even if prospectors stall for a pass tile, I don't see. I mean, I guess they'll get 4 off the big building tile if they do get it.
yeah, or prospectors could stall and then just build a stronghold for 9 points and then just dig bomb
Yeah, yeah,
and not even bother building these dwellings or connecting or anything like that. I mean, I guess he has a couple priests that he could use as dwellings. Like he can connect with just 2 dwellings here. So
yeah. Right. B4, D2, or something, or D6. Right.
B4 or B5 even actually.
Right.
So I think him stalling out for the Atlanteans past tile is definitely the right move.
Yeah. It also denies Atlanteans too, which is huge. So I'm imagining that Orin miss out on a bonus tile here. Atlanteans end up on the 6 coins, and prospectors end up on the big building. Does that seem Does that
Yeah,
seem likely to you?
that seems right.
So then going into the final round, we've got prospectors and Genie getting points off bonus tiles, and everyone else missing out here.
Right, and they have the most bank. Both they'll be the 2 factions with the most bank points. So
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know if I've ever seen like this tall of a prospectors game. This is this is pretty interesting. I mean, it's funny. Prospectors are doing these digs as if they're angling toward connecting, but I don't think it's gonna actually end up being worthwhile for him to do these dwellings.
yeah. Probably not. Atlanteans have
I think
enough
everyone's
coming
gonna be
in
ahead of him
to.
anyways.
Well, I guess I missed this earlier with the B4 dig, but that does deny a dwelling to Genie too. Genie are those yellows are kind of at the mercy of prospectors here, so that could be
Yeah,
pretty painful
right.
for Genie.
Yeah,
They don't have tempo on any of these hexes. Atlanteans could ding them too if they wanted to. I'm not sure if that would be in their interest, but they don't have preference on any of these yellow hexes because they're only on 1 chip right now.
right.
All right, so the pass tiles do break down like we thought they would, and then we've still got, despite Genie not flipping over to Earth here, not really minding missing out on those spades. Everyone else does get some spades.
Yep.
Oh, and Orin. Do we think Orin is stretching for a third town? I think they dug
Yeah, it
B5.
looks like it, and their problem's gonna be coins. I think 'cause he doesn't have a neighbor. I don't think B4 is actually gonna get built on. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wonder if that was. It seems like our read here is that the B4 was a stall, and or a block. Well, who used a Colt spade
right.
on B4 here? Like, who was that? That
Oh, that's
was
a good question.
Atlanteans. So I guess they're just looking at their network prospects. I don't
That's
know.
a weird one.
So if Atlanteans end up there, I guess that spade, but that spade came in after
Maybe
the orange spade. So I don't know.
are Atlanteans trying to dissuade prospectors from connecting? Maybe, but
Not sure. Yeah.
hmm,
But I mean, it looks like Orin are either relying on a neighbor up there, or I guess they don't really have anywhere else to go anyways. They can't really reach any natural greens with ease, so may as well. Yeah, okay. So double dig comes down. Yeah, so I think Orin are relying on a neighbor there. We'll see if they get it. and or get it in time. I'm kind of worried about the timing on that too.
Well, let's see that if he had to do it as oh no, because he doesn't. I was counting for. Never mind. I don't think he can get it without it because he doesn't have fire two either. So
Yeah, it would be a painful fire to pull. I mean, it might still be worth it under the right circumstances, but you always hate to be on the top of a cult and then to grab like a 2 or a 3 step
yeah,
flavor tile.
totally.
Like I said, I'm sure it could be the right situation, particularly if he did it, but it's always a little bit painful for me at least.
Yeah. Orin are going to be at 13 structures after this though, and I mean that might be enough to win network, which is wild.
Right? Yeah, it's been
But I
such a
think
tall
might be
game.
where this may be where this ends up.
Yeah, sort of on the back of this dwelling rush.
Um, it does look like Atlanteans, he missed a scoring favor, but by getting on the 6 coin tile, I think he's going to have enough to both build this town and then also get the 2 cold steps, obviously, but then also the 20 VP bonus. So
Yeah, nice.
sort of
So
assume
16.
if you sort of pretend that he has 104 points, all of a sudden this looks not bad for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And those Colts still look great too. I guess air is still a second at best. Well, I don't know. I guess it depends. I guess it depends.
Yeah, well, and Prospectors just sent a priest to Earth, so they're pressuring. So Atlanteans will now basically have to choose Earth or the town. I assume they'll choose the town.
Yeah. But so the town would happen at the expense of creating a town independently first, you're saying?
Right. So if he wants to claim Earth right now, the only way he could do it is by building this bridge and making this connection to get above the 10 threshold for the
Yeah,
stronghold. But then that set of structures wouldn't be independent anymore. So
right.
he couldn't get a town. So he's and by building it, and it builds A2, so he's clearly going for the town.
And you know what? I'm just realizing it has to be an expensive TP. I was just wondering whether it was going to be all dwellings up there, but he's only got one dwelling left to build out that northwest town.
Yeah, yeah.
No landscapes for these guys. Not yet, at least. Here's a question. Do you think, you might even have more of an inside line on this, do you think fan factions will ever get landscapes? Very different
I
question
do
as to
not.
whether you think they should or whether it's worth it, but
I don't think they should, and I also don't think they will.
okay. Yeah, that makes
That's
sense.
my prognostication, but we'll see.
I will absolutely take your word on that one. Okay, so yeah, Genie now at 2 ship, looking at where they're going to put their dwellings. Is this just a ship upgrade? Do they claim D6 here? I guess if they claim D6, now they're
Both of these yellows get
yeah, there it
dug out.
is.
Yeah, there. I mean, that is one 2 hexes for 1 dig,
Yeah,
assuming he gets up to 3. So,
smart.
although he doesn't have enough workers to build 3 yellows anyway, so I don't know.
Very friendly to Orin. I guess, maybe that was what Orin was counting on neighbor-wise, not B4, but D6. That's some pretty good board vision there. I feel like whether or not that's what he was looking at, that's where it ended up. And I feel like Genie here kind of have the Fakirs thing going on. They're going to be at 3 ship, and they're going to have 3 hexes available to them. But they're only going to be able to build 2 dwellings. So it's kind of like,
Only able to build 2 dwellings unless
well,
he
which
ship
is
buys.
ugly in itself. I mean, I'm sure they will gladly take 3 leech if they can get it for the extra worker conversion. But it's one of those things where like it's entirely defensible. If anyone even thought about blocking them, they can't because they'd have to block 2 hexes. So not probably not relevant here, but I feel like that's always in my mind at the end of the game as Fakirs is like, I got all these flights coming. Do I have to worry about my hexes being safe? Okay, we got some discussion of
So
landscapes in chat too here. Mixed opinions. Okay, what were we gonna say?
I was say Eric. It's funny. Eric actually he has like just enough. Well, he's gonna get a little more resources from the town, but he has just enough to get to the 16 structures because right
Okay,
now he's at 14. So he'll build an expensive TP here, get to 7 on the town, then build the bridge, and then he'll probably presumably dig build E1.
E1.
And
Okay.
he has just enough workers and coins
That's
to
very
do that.
nice. So does that allow him
Yeah.
to take the 11 pointer as well, or does he need to take the workers down for it?
He needs neither actually, because he needs 4 workers to do the bridge plus. So, oh yeah, so sorry, the 11 town. Yeah, he does not
Yeah,
need
yeah.
the workers town.
That's really nice. Yeah, so are Atlanteans, where does their network? Are they getting second on network here as well? They might have this, huh? What do you think about where this is all going to land? Those 20 points are huge.
11. So they're gonna finish with 12 network, and Genie are gonna finish with only 11, right? So yeah, I think if Atlanteans beat Genie on network, that's probably it for Atlanteans. They probably have it.
Yeah, Genie would have to get 3 power here, and I don't see it coming, right? I mean, Orin might give them 1. Yeah, there's 1. So Orin are taking fire 2 probably.
I
But
mean, Genie do have a 12-point pass, and Atlanteans have a 0-point pass. So that is
that's a considerable
not
swing.
nothing.
Oh, right, the stronghold pass. I keep forgetting about that.
Yeah, but yeah,
How many
you assume
stronghold
Genie will use their
points?
lamp to go there.
Yeah, right. So they'll
He built it in round 3. I think he got 15 stronghold points. I think he got 5 each in
yeah,
rounds 4, 5, and 6.
that's solid.
Pretty good.
And then is this enough for Orin here? I was looking at the resources before the undo. I'm not sure if there's enough. I'm not
I
sure he
don't
had
think
enough to
so,
make the town.
because he needs to build. He would need to build a TP and then also either another dwelling or fire two or temple for fire two, and I don't think he can do that.
Yeah. So just short up there. Will anything save him here? I don't think so. I guess the one faction we talked about in a minute is prospectors. What are they up to? I mean, I guess they'll be able to stall and not give out any helpful leech to their the other players in any case, right?
Yeah,
Do you
I
see?
assume go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, do you see any temples for 3-step cults here for prospectors? Is there any kind of swing that's going to happen there? I'm just looking at the resources, trying to think. I mean, they can build the trading post,
Mm,
obviously, but then what are they doing? They can't upgrade digs for points.
they could try like priest air 3.
Yeah,
Although even that, no, that only gets them ahead of Orin because Genie are going to be up top and Atlanteans are going to go up 2 more steps, so it's like not even worth it.
totally.
So
Are they building a
I
stronghold
think they
there? Is that what they're
probably
up to?
built. I think they build a stronghold and 2 TPs, and then like
Yeah,
use some and then some dig, and then just do
yeah,
digs for
yeah, that
points.
makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I was forgetting the stronghold would both be 9 points and free up a 3-point trading post. So that doesn't look too bad for them. It doesn't look like it'll be quite enough though,
No,
right?
they'll
It's a
get a
decent
12-point
pass.
pass and score another 11, maybe a couple. So yeah, it doesn't feel like enough without any network points and only 8 cold points.
Yeah. Definitely an interesting prospectors game though. Yeah, we saw an undo from
Yeah,
Atlanteans here. I'm guessing that was just some power management. But we finally see that 10 thresholds. Very satisfying.
yes, and he's only 1 away from the 16 threshold, so he'll build that dwelling and he'll pop right up to 121.
So this is going way back in the conversation. But would you have started D2 as Atlanteans here? Was that a no-brainer, or would you have considered like a D5, or I think someone was saying A4 in this matchup?
I probably would have done it this way. I think. I don't think I would have done D5.
Yeah, that just looks
A4.
pretty easy to
A4
get
is
hemmed in.
interesting. A4, if you start with either the ship town or you start on 10th ship, is interesting. But I think when you're in first seat, you can't guarantee you're gonna get temp ship, and if you
Yeah.
like get
Oh,
stuck up
yeah.
there, then it's obviously really bad. So
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so that's if you're starting up there, you're pretty much signaling I'm shipping early. That makes sense.
right,
Okay, so Air 1 for Orin. And yep, I think that means they're giving up on this town. But it does
that
help
means he
their
conceded that he's
yeah.
not getting a town.
It helps their presence on excuse me, air certainly, and they also could take the priest action. I don't know if that I don't know if Atlanteans. I guess the Atlanteans have every reason not to just block that, but
I mean, he
yeah.
could
Oh
also build
man.
a temple for Air 3 if he wanted to get really
Oh
spicy, but
yeah, he does have the resources for it. I wonder if that's what's on his mind. I mean, we get a big leech
oh, this is
offer,
funny.
so Orin have to consider whether they want to have 5 power to play
Yeah.
around with.
Well, what's funny is if he hadn't just built that temple for Air 1, he then would have had enough to build it for Fire 2 and get the town. I mean, I don't even know how
Yeah.
much better
Oh,
that is, but
painful. I would imagine
the
prospectors would
town's
have
the
just
town's better.
upgraded G5 or something instead, but still,
Yeah, probably.
that's a little bit. I'm not gonna say rude. I don't think it's rude, but it's a little bit cheeky, and I love it.
Yeah.
And Genie are just on a pass here. Yeah, they've got their one lamp to
Well,
be
and
good
what's
on.
funny here is Ondas never actually like he never moved, and so now he can still flip to air, but Atlanteans actually have a priest left and even enough for a priest action, and so moving might not even help him.
Yeah,
But I don't know what other moves
I guess you could just flip
factor.
Earth
I
and
mean,
oh,
one
he
thing.
goes for it. I was gonna say you could flip Earth and air, and then I guess yeah, I don't know. It would have just gotten them enough to tie Orin anyways.
That's an interesting one right there.
But that's not what happened. The water air flip. I guess that was the intention for a while there, right? I think some action that Genie took earlier in the game signaled that they were gonna. I don't remember. I feel like I'm a little bit fried at this point. Okay, so we do see Air 3
Oh, we
from
do
Orin.
get the air.
That's fun.
We
Okay,
get
so
air 3. Yeah,
when it's all said and done, Orin do top three, do top two cults.
two Colts and Atlanteans only got one after my early prediction of two, but wow. And Genie won zero when I feel like they had so many opportunities to claim one.
Did they get all 4 3 spots as well? That's pretty nutty.
Yeah, that's
I
rare.
missed
Four
that.
three spots and didn't win any of the Colts.
Yeah. Ouch. But here's
Unfortunately,
those
even with
20
that move
points.
from yeah, even with that move from Rondo, I think he's still getting last, right? Is my math right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. So it's plus 18. No points on the pass. No,
I just don't think
2 points on the pass. Plus 20. Look at that. Yeah, it doesn't look like enough to me either. There's just like a lot of catch up to do. Did get on a bonus tie in the last round. The tempo just wasn't. Everyone else had ways to stall, I feel like, or a pile of resources. So that part
yeah.
definitely hurts. And then yeah, I think just as you predicted, it was stronghold, and now trading post. Oh, and Ondas does get enough for that extra dwelling. That's huge. That's 3 points
Oh
straight
yeah.
up,
That
or I guess
that is a big
2 points, including the resource
that's a
point that
big
it would have
swing.
cost. But then it's 12 network, which ties him with Atlanteans.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah. Super Charney comes in. Did I miss anything? Most of a game, not all of
No,
the game. Most of a
you
game.
did not super just all of it.
You missed
Well,
a lot
super
of big
tight game here.
buildings.
One thing I was going to mention also is obviously this being the first game of a league season is that every position matters. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd
That's a
have to
good
go
point.
back and look at all the individual moves, but there were definitely could have been moves in there where people were saying, "Oh, I'm going to do this because I can get second or whatever." I mean, this was really tight the whole time, so it's hard for me to imagine anyone thinking that way. But
Totally.
um, you can get some of those in a game like this.
Just a couple of final actions, some last minute swings here with the extra dwelling for Genie, and then with this priest action to for Atlanteans to try Genie on fire here. Yeah, definitely a pretty wild game.
Yeah.
I mean, three of
Anyone
the
do the math
more.
yet?
What's that?
It's Atlanteans, right? Did you do the math? Is it? I think
I
it's
didn't do the
Atlanteans
math.
winning, right?
No. Yeah, I'm sure you're right. Well, let's see. Let's let the grand unveiling come in. But hitting even having that even getting a slight bump down on network with the tie with Genie, I think it's still enough, right? 121 plus. I mean, they're on their second place on
Oh, they
these other
definitely beat Genie.
fields.
Yeah, they beat Genie, and the question is, they beat Prospectors after this
It is a
past? I
big
think
pass for
so.
prospectors, but no network's gonna put them pretty far behind. So yeah, I think you're
Yeah,
right. I
they've
think it's
got it.
Atlanteans by
They it's Atlanteans.
maybe 6, 7 points, something like that. And then yeah, I think Horn unfortunately in last place. But yeah, and I think this is a Premier League debut for 3 or 4 of these players. I don't know. I didn't follow TMTL in the really early days. I don't know if Ondas or FireX has been in it before, but I don't think Rondo or Eric have. Oh, Ondas is asking if there's a tie. That could be very spicy.
Tie per second, maybe.
I don't know. 137.
I think that's what it is. It's a tie for
It would be
second
tie for
between Genie
second between.
and Prospectors.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah.
you only won by 3.
Very close. Yeah, very close game. All right.
Nice.
Then no resource points. And that'll do it. Yeah, so Atlanteans winning by 3 points here. So Eric gets his first win. Good for 6 points here. And then I'm not even sure how the ties work in this system. I'm not sure how those points are awarded, but Firex and Ondas both going to get
They'll
some points in
just
this too.
so they'll each get. It normally would be 3 for second place and 1 for third place, so they'll each get 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Within the margin of the auction, by the way, worth noting. So Atlanteans were 40 for the auction, and Genie were 33. So without the points, if the points had been equal, then Genie would have won.
Very good point. Yeah. Yeah. And you were saying you thought Genie were a little bit overbid there. I wonder how much of that was analysis versus like preference coming through, and when the auction closed. But well, they certainly made it exciting. That was a great game one here.
Yeah, I
Um,
know. Super fun. Really good opener for the season, and looking forward to being it myself next week.
yeah. So you get 4 weeks in a row, and
I do.
yeah, and then what was I gonna say? I had some chat here. Yeah, I'm a little bit fried. Sorry. Oh, I was going to talk streams. Okay. So yeah, you're playing the next 4 weeks in a row. I believe that next week is FireX bye. So it's going to be you, Ondas, Eric, and Ronda Rice playing on Rondo's home game, if I'm not mistaken. Um,
Rondo's home game. All right.
so we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised to see more fan factions there, but we will see how it goes. It could be any map too, I believe. So we'll see if we see something different. Um, and then stream wise, so this game was hosted on my stream, and thank you so much for being willing to step in as a co-caster here. This was awesome. It was great to get to cast with you, and also your wealth of knowledge on fan factions was really great for this game, in particular with the 3 fan factions. I'm sure everyone got to learn a lot from that. And so the next 3 weeks are going to be all streamed by Mr. Fickles on his channel, actually. Um, and we've got a couple of pretty great co-casters lined up as well. I'm not yet sure whether we're going to like post the schedule or just build the suspense, but we'll see where it all lands. And then the last week we have a tentative plan, but it's to be announced. So, but anyways, we're going to be doing Thursdays for the rest of the uh, tournament for Premier League, and stay tuned to Fickles' channel because that'll be the next 3 weeks.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Love it.
So yeah, thanks a lot for this. Was a great casting with you.
Yeah, super fun. Thanks everyone for joining, and stay tuned. Come back next week.
And we will sign out here with a little bit of O Canada video. And hope everybody enjoys the streams in the coming weeks. Take care, everybody.
See y'all.